Ayman Khan here for Seconds Out with one of my favourite people to speak to in boxing in person this time, no less. Russ, how you doing, sir? Russ Anber, how you doing, sir?
Ayman, I'm good, and I gotta reiterate that you're one of my best interviews to do, and you always ask good questions, and I appreciate you having me again.
No, I appreciate you saying that, but the people want to hear from you, not from me.
Yeah, because you owe me questions that you haven't answered, right? I asked you questions that you didn't answer, so you owe me some. Okay.
Another time indeed. Look, can we take anything from the face-offs, these final moments in a few days from Usyk or Dubois at all?
I don't care about that stuff. I told you I don't care. It doesn't matter. When the bell rings, it's different. 50% of people have been wrong in their face-off, in their prediction, in the history of boxing. Someone's wrong. So forget it. That's not something I look into. I know that Usyk has, taken Daniel Dubois very seriously, and I certainly have. And I think, Daniel Dubois is a dangerous opponent and is coming to fight.
There's a lovely moment where Usyk was handed a plaque, I believe it was, depicting a religious picture, thanking him for his help and assistance in the ongoing climate in Ukraine. With that comes a lot of pressure too to perform. For someone who's been on the road a lot as well too, he's got to satisfy the fans as well too this weekend. Yeah,
of course he does. He's got that pressure, and that's one of the key factors is that Daniel doesn't. All the media, everyone has made Daniel out the guy. Yeah, he's going to get beat. 7-1 underdog. Okay, give it the old college try, and that's it. And that's not fair, because I think he's going to give it more than that, and he deserves more than that. He deserves more credit than he's being given. He doesn't deserve to be a 7-1 underdog, and I think that in and of itself is going to also take away from Usyk's performance, that he wins, and people are going to say, you beat that, you're supposed to win, no problem. And it's not fair, because he would have beaten, and when he wins, he would have beaten a very, very solid, good guy and a good contender and a young guy who's coming to fight with a heart, and he wants to win. And I think that's taking away a lot from what would happen with Usyk. They're just dismissing this because he beat Joshua. They're dismissing this as nothing, and we're waiting for the Fury fight. Of course he wants the Fury fight. That's the fight everybody wants. Everybody would rather see, and there's nobody on earth would rather watch Ngannou and Fury or Usyk and Fury. I mean, right? I think you're just not giving Daniel Dubois the credit he deserves.
Your radar, in terms of in-ring action, how do you describe the threat that Daniel Dubois poses?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 9. I think he's a physical presence. I think he's young. I think he believes in himself. Power. If you have 0 chance out of 10 to win, and you have power, suddenly you jump to 9 out of 10 to win. It's a great equalizer, and he has that. And Usyk knows that, and is going to have to be careful of that. And Daniel Dubois is counting on that.
Counting on that, indeed. He's also counting on the experience he believes will hopefully be imparted to him from James Ali Bashir, formerly with Oleksandr Usyk. Can James impart that knowledge to help him assist him to beat Usyk? Yeah,
I mean, any advice from any good boxing people can. There's always little things you can say to a fighter that helps. And if he believes in him and the relationship is good, we were talking earlier about trainers and relationships with fighters. There's something special that has to be there. With your corner, that sometimes you don't even have to say something, and the fighter knows what you give him a look, or he gives you a look, and you know what he's saying. You understand each other. That's important. If he's done that with James, then that's going to help him. If it's just a question of, I know what to do, you just got to do this and you just got to do that, well, that makes it a little more difficult, because everybody offers advice. Everyone can offer advice. It's having the faith to take that and being able to then show him how to do it and then execute it. That's the important part.
Actually, listen, I asked this of James as well. I asked him, it's a fantasy fight for sure, but Usyk versus Evander Holfyfield, if the two could ever met in their prime, who would you pick to win?
Wow, it's a hell of a fight. It's a draw. I mean, is it safe to say 2 greatest cruiserweights of all time? The ultimate matchup. Certainly a contrast in styles. I think it would be the first time that Usyk would have fought somebody who would have had a gas tank like him. I think one of the factors, the big things in Usyk is that he thinks he's a middleweight. The nut thinks he's a middleweight, right? He fights like a middleweight. He throws punches. He's 225 pounds, but he doesn't know that he is. Holyfield was a lot the same way. He could go at a high pace. So I think that would have made for a hell of a fight, man. Wow. Oof. Imagine the money you'd have had to pay to make that fight. Yeah.
Finally, just bring it to yourself in your sort of career. You've seen a lot of things come and go. You've seen fighters come and go. You've seen big nights like this come and go. Where does this rank for you, Usyk, in about as home as you can get right now? Where does this night rank for you coming up on Saturday?
Well, I'll tell you after Saturday, after we walk into the ring, the same way that I had that feeling when we walked into Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, what that felt like. But I got to tell you this, Ayman, I only really reflect on this after the fact. When I'm there, I walk to the ring, I'm in the corner, I get my bucket ready, I'm ready to do my work. Whether there's 1,000 people in the building, 5,000, I have to do my job, and I want my guy to win. So I don't like to get myself caught up in the moment and be a fanboy. I don't want to be a fanboy. I'm there to do a job, and it's important for me to do that job. You can use the example of Eubank and Smith, the first fight. I mean, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. I'm focused on giving the right instruction to my fighter, working well in the corner, doing the job I have to do to make sure he goes out and executes. I'll celebrate after when we get the win.
Just quickly, it just popped into my head. For my own trained eye, Usyk maybe looks a little bit bigger. Is he?
Then what?
Than he has been before in his previous fights.
I don't know if he looks bigger than he did for Joshua, especially the second fight. I don't think he looks bigger. I mean, you're better to tell, but I didn't see that much of a size difference. But we'll look on Saturday when he takes his shirt off and puts his trunks on. I'll let you know.
We'll find out very soon. Days away from the big fight. Russ Anber, thanks for speaking to Seconds Out, sir. All the best.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
Cheers.